This is a natal chart reading. We are going to continue where we left off. Um, Actually, let's refresh too. Let's look at it all again because it's better to have it on a recording anyway so that you can go back and replay and look up things that spark your interest over time. So, what I like to do is start at the big three, get an idea of for what is more accessible um, of motivating consciousness and what you would feel are elements of your personality that can help realign you to who you are and how most people who get to know you feel about the energy that you give off. So let's start with the Leo rising. The rising sign is one that starts our first house. The first house is our self, it's our physical body, it's our self image, our life philosophy. It's how we portray ourselves to the world. And it is how we first perceive new situations. So when you have a Leo rising on the first house, you tend to have a confidence about you. You have a positive outlook on new situations. You really want to be inspired in all new situations, and you hope that you're inspiring to others too. This is the Leo energy is somebody who has some creative energy that they need to express to the world. So you find these Leo rising people that there's something about them that draws you in, and it's almost they have like this performer presence. There's some entertainment or wisdom or humor or showmanship. They really demand the spotlight, and they do this because in life they need to show people who they really are, their true gifts. And when they do that and they get the affirmation from other people that yes, they are really special and talented, then they feel this fulfillment and they feel this pride in themselves that they really need to experience. Their ego needs to be reaffirmed in this life. They have much to give, but they need to also receive. So the Leo rising person is someone who, when they take the chance and they're bold enough to really take the risk and show who they really are, they are a lot more likely to be satisfied in life because they get to hear and feel and see that yes, other people do see this too, and their gifts are needed and admired and appreciated. It is the sign of the performer because they need an audience. You have a gift that needs to be shared to others. It's that extroverted sign. Not that you have to be super flashy and show offy, but it's a sign that you have some direct energy to give others, and we need to receive it. So that is the rising, how you first present yourself to the world is you have a message to give or show to set stage on something creative that needs to be shown to others. Um, let's move to the sun sign. So the sun sign is the little circle at the top. It's not always on the top, everyone's is different. The sun sign is once people really get to know you, probably if I ask 10 people how your qualities are, how would you describe this person? That's what would come up is your sun sign. And whenever you're feeling off track in life, it's the sun sign. That's the quickest way to realign yourself. It is essentially your true being of consciousness. It's kind of just your essence of yourself, your life force, if you will, your ego, all of those things that really take the front and center stage of our life. So yours is in the sign of Aries. So now you went from having this Leo rising, how you first appear to people, which is fiery and full of passion and energy. Now we're going to another fire sign of Aries. So you have double fire in you. So this is going to make you for a very influential person. You have a lot of um, passion and intuition, and it makes you just more bold and courageous in general, just more likely to act, follow your heart. You don't really need a lot of people to agree with you, and you don't personally have to bounce ideas around in your head a lot. Once you feel something is right, you're going to go for it. You're the action taker personality. And Aries is the one that is like the trailblazer anyway. So there's a lot of paths that you want to take in life that maybe you don't have any connections to other people closely related to you or friendship circles that do the exact same thing as you. Maybe you're just like sometimes like, wow, am I like really going to do this? And the answer is yes. Yes, you're really going to do this because it is your sun sign of Aries that does something that no one else has done before. The cardinal sign is the leader, the trailblazer, the warrior, the one who is willing to battle others. And not to say you're aggressive, but you're willing to stand up for what you know you need to do, and you're going to do it anyways. You're taking steps forward towards your victory, and you're the trailblazer because it might be paths that have never been traveled before. It's a different, you wanted to experience new things, and you really wanted to feel what it felt like to be alive. The Aries sign is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the one who realized that they were human and realized that there's endless possibilities and what a joy it is to just be alive. You're going to take full advantage of every moment in this life. That is your sign. That is your sun sign, the essence of your energy. So let's move to the moon. The moon for you is in Capricorn. That is an earth sign. So now you have fire, action, earth, practicality. So you have maybe this really a lot of energy, these great things in motion, and now you have this Capricorn moon. And the moon is our sign of our subconscious energy. It is our intimate side. It's the side of us that if you were to describe it in a relationship, it's usually the relationship we first experience with our mother or someone that's so close to us that it's the first place we really feel emotionally secure. It's also the voice we hear in our heads coming from our heart, like our gut instincts, because it is that shadow side. If the sun is the bright light, the moon is kind of the shadowy, the dreamier, the harder to really find the words to say. And it's a very private part of us. Not everybody gets to see this side of you. But internally, you really have this deep desire to be successful. And Capricorn is the boss, it's the master of whatever it wants to tackle. So it would say that when you close your eyes and you really think about things, you really are a planner at heart, deep down, even though on the outside you have so much energy and you're ready to just seize the day. It actually comes from a deeper place of really a goal achieving drive. You actually do have some kind of a plan, and you have looked into the future and seen where you want to be and what you're actually climbing for. So let's say you didn't have that earth, you would have all this fire and you would just go, go, go and see what happens. But when you add that earth in now, this is someone who has all the power, but now they also have the planning too. They actually aren't just flying by the seat of their pants all the time. They may appear that way, but they actually do have a method to their madness, so to speak. So it gives you a great ambition and perseverance. This gives you that staying power that is needed with all this fire energy. The earth is so nice here because it really gives you the staying power to climb up the mountain step by step and not just fizzle out and go on to something new. This is the person who can keep that momentum all the way to the top. And with the sun in the 10th house of career and public reputation, that is really what you're desiring to do. The moon in Capricorn, well, Capricorn actually rules the 10th house. And while that doesn't really mean a lot, if you're new to astrology, but when you have that energy in a house rulership, it just shows that you're more aligned to this calling. So you really have a desire to be seen as the best of whatever it is that you want to do in this life. It's not a private life, it's a public life of teaching people of what you have mastered. It's the sign of it's taking apprentices, it's teaching the public, it's being in the spotlight, it's being seen as this competent expert in whatever it is that you're trying to do. And it takes a lifetime of experience and skill building to ever really feel like the master. So sometimes this stuff comes later in life because you weren't able to do it early in life. You didn't have the skill set yet. You didn't have the experience of doing whatever it is that you're trying to be the expert of. It's more of a mature age where you really see the fruits of your labor because now you know what it takes, all the lessons you have had to learn to get this wisdom. The one of the things of the moon is to show us where we need emotional security. And for you, sometimes with the independent energy of Capricorn, sometimes it needs to have alone time, not be drowning in other people's problems. You need to have time to get your wits about you. You need to have time to get all these plans laid down. You enjoy people's company, but you also need to have your own thing going on. You don't want to be overly um, emotionally needed where you can't turn it off to focus on yourself. You're someone who over time has learned how to create boundaries. It usually is because at some point you've always had this maturity about you, or a lot of Capricorn moons earlier in life just had like this seriousness about them, about like they felt like they had a purpose and they've always kind of been working towards it. That drive has always been kind of put on something. So it hasn't been ever really like a lot of downtime and um, just playfulness. It's kind of a more serious moon sign. So you might take yourself a little bit more seriously deep down. And you might expect people that you're close to also be some type of ambitious person. You don't want to be the only one who has dreams and goals. You want to see that in a partner too, that they're going places, they have plans, they have made a name for themselves in this world. They're not just sitting around waiting to see their fate, they're creating their own destiny. That's the kind of people that make you feel good about yourself too. Everyone's working hard, everyone's achieving their goals, and then everyone can be really proud of themselves for what they've done in this world. That's the kind of person you want to be around. So let's move on now to your Venus sign. It talks more about our love relationships. Venus is more of a romantic energy. It's everything we love, what we, it's our taste in things. And with a Pisces Venus, you have a real flair for spirituality in general. In the eighth house, it's the sign of having joy and harmony in feelings where you have this like spiritual experience. Usually it's in an area of things that just go below the surface. So you might just not be interested in super like daily materialistic kind of things. You don't really need to have the hottest handbag or, drive the fanciest cars. Your love and joy and feelings of satisfaction come from like a spiritual side. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. It's a water sign. That's all about, the flow of spirituality. Keep moving and growing and experience different levels of spiritual awakening. Really interested in the collective consciousness, how we're all moving that along. How are we helping with the flow of energy exchanges and in a healing way? The eighth house is about transformations, death, rebirth. You might find yourself interested in kind of topics that maybe other people don't really get excited about. But for you, your compassionate energy towards those types of topics brings people into your life that have like a real story about them. They either need healing or they just want companionship and someone who is empathetic towards their journey so far. It's just this state of you just want to be around people who are interested in more of the unseen side of life, how others might see that taboo or metaphysical or eccentric or occultish. It's more of what interests you. You know that there's something bigger than us. You know that our souls are what we should be focusing on, and that brings you great joy and peace when you're around people that agree on that level and are not stuck in the material world. You might find a lover who has a very compassionate side that it looks like your lover is the kind of person that brings out the sensitivity in you. Venus in Pisces is considered exalted. It's where Venus feels the best. It That means when you're in love, that's like potentially the best feeling that you can feel. A lot of people would say that, but you have the ability to give love and receive love on a really deep level that really surpasses the body and enters the soul. You want a real like soulmate connection with somebody, which is interesting because you really have a lot of independent energy. So here we have this sensitive side of you, though, that really does want a lover who deeply understands you and who you can deeply understand in return. You actually really would benefit from having somebody who has like the same kind of vibe as you, that they have their own thing going on, but they want that connection. They do want someone to have an emotional relationship with, someone that they can show their softer side and enjoy the more sensitive romantic side of life with. And when you meet this person, then you really are willing to share your soul and your resources and your life with them. In the sign of Pisces, there's really no boundaries there. Your Capricorn moon gets healed a little bit by this person who's really able to help wash away all those emotional walls and help you become emotionally vulnerable and feel safe and secure and loved unconditionally. So it's really a beautiful place for Venus, I think. And Jupiter is sitting there right next to it. And Jupiter is kind of our planet of luck and opportunity. So it's showing me that when you really get to this place, when you give love the chance and the time and the energy, you have this conjunction of Jupiter and Venus. So it's going to make your love life seem larger than life. It expands the whole area. It's going to be all you can see and all encompassing. And you're blessed by this relationship with the other person. The eighth house is also our shared resources. It's not what you built for yourself in this life. That house for you is actually empty. You're really not super concerned about material wealth and structure security and having a bunch of things. Like that's not you. What yours is, I want to merge my soul with this person and really share our deepest thoughts and desires and feelings. And I want this unspoken bond. And I want it to be with my lover. And I want it to be with all things that we don't have to pay for. And that's how you truly feel this love. And in return, you actually wind up getting things from this person because once you've achieved this level of vulnerability and soulmate status with this person, you get the intimacy that you crave and you actually become um, secure in all areas because their resources then bless you. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have already or will one day be with someone who is well off and that they benefit your financial situation. And you come from it at an angle of this pure love that they can see that you're not just after them for money, but they finally see someone who sees more than that in them. So it's really a beautiful thing. And I hope that happens for you if it hasn't already. I do want to spend a moment talking about your 11th house. You have your Mars, which is our planet of action and drive, what we're willing to fight for, how we go about getting what we want. That is in a stellium when you have more than one planet. So you have three in your 11th house in Gemini. So it just makes you a very like quick thinker, quick talker. People might think you're witty, charming. You might have an upper hand in conversations. You can kind of tell where things are going. You read people really well. You know how to get what you want out of a conversation. You might be really good at making deals with people. Gemini is an air sign that likes to connect with people It likes to know people's experiences. It wants to learn. It's always alive for education. And when this is your Mars sign, your house of drive mixed with this social kind of butterfly energy, it really helps you rub the right elbows and make the right connections in life. So you might find that you have these doors opening from who you mingle with. And then in the inverse of that, with Mars, sometimes can be aggression and it can be, where we're likely to have arguments. So it's interesting to me because in Gemini, this duality, you could have both. You might go to groups and organizations and feel like you're really on fire about something, and you might have like foot and mouth syndrome sometimes because you're going to say what you think, and if people don't want to hear it, you're willing to stand up for yourself about it, and you really don't care if they agree or not. When Mars is in Gemini, it's going to say what's on its mind, and it's not going to filter it. And if we wind up disagreeing and arguing, then you're here for it. You're going to stand your side. You're not really super into people pleasing when it comes to how you represent yourself in like group settings. Your friends, your friendship circles, you might find that you have the same thing there. Friendships will help get you into places, and it might be your fallout too. You might find that sometimes people who, once helped you then wind up being someone who you don't want to be around anymore. It can be a combative placement for um, for just not backing down, and that is a quality. It's actually a good thing to stand up for yourself here, and it helps you find where you truly belong in life. And with Saturn next to Mars, sometimes it can just be a little bit of a tug of war between you wanting to be a long-term like authority position or you wanting to get it done right now. So do I wait? Saturn is all about lessons and self-discipline, and in Gemini, it needs like a variety of lessons, and sometimes it takes a little while to get this really anchored down, where Mars says, well, forget that. I'm going to do this right now and we'll see what happens. So these two join together and you have like all this confidence and capability that's ready to just go. But then you have this restrictor planet saying, wait, we need to learn our lessons first. So I just take this to mean that you're going to have a lot of instances in life where you learn a lot from your interactions with other people. It is the sign of someone who is out there and trying things, meeting different people, a variety of groups you belong to. You're not a one talent fits all kind of person. You might fit in many different places and have many different people that you impact. And some are going to help you feel like it's helping you go towards this maturity and position of authority that one day you're hoping for. And some of them, you might just say, well, I'm going to burn that bridge because I don't agree with that at all. But it's through all of these experiences that you really learn more. And that's what Gemini energy really wants. It's not gonna stay down if they got in an argument with someone, and it's not gonna feel like defeated if it didn't work out. Gemini is like, okay, well, what's next? Like I did that, but look, like that seems interesting too. Or good, that worked out. I'll keep that in my back pocket. But look, I still need to try this over here because I haven't done that yet. And that's what this Mars energy wants. It wants you to keep trying new things in life and keep identifying with different groups and keep reaching out to different people and keep saying what you need to say. And if it is something that helps you build confidence over time, because you're going to really learn that like you're not someone that's going to back down. And that's really a great confidence booster in life. And it really teaches you a lot of skills that you're trying to learn here about independence and really being a self-thinker. Okay. I think that was everything I wanted to go over. let me know. That seems like a lot of information there, so we'll stop here. I'm gonna email this to you, and if you want to know anything else or you wanna see the other things or go into more detail, I'm happy to do that too. I hope this was useful to you, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.